If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest updates.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining the first session. Let's start with my introduction. So my name is Pawan. So I have 18 years of experience, and out of that 15 plus years of experience in SAP. I have worked on several projects. I have worked on implementations, support, rollouts, upgrades. Okay. And not only in SAP FSCO, but I have worked on FSCM and a little bit of Central Finance S4HANA projects. Okay, so so we'll start with the introduction with everyone. So I see we have around 9 participants, 8 attendees. Okay. So we'll try to understand the background of everyone and the expectations. So then from there we can go ahead. Okay. And so I won't spend much time on these things. So we need to understand a little bit about SAP and its background. Okay. So as you guys know, SAP is one of the world's leading producer of ERP software for the business purposes, and it has developed applications that helps the businesses to run their day-to-day transactions. Okay. And SAP is an ERP system. So first we need to understand what is ERP. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning, and it's a software that organizations use to manage their day-to-day business activities. And mostly in all organizations, they have different departments, right? Such as production, procurement, materials, sales, marketing, finance, HR. So in every department, in every area, so there will be a lot of activities happening. So the companies must have some sophisticated system to record all those transactions. So there would be a huge volume of transactions happens, right? So the other ERPs may not be able to handle those kind of volume, but SAP is the best suits for the large organizations to save, record those transactions. Okay. So apart from SAP, we have different ERP products available in the market. In SAP itself, we have Business One, SAP Business by Design. So whereas SAP ECC and S4HANA for the large organizations, SAP Business One is for the small scale organization. SAP Business by Design is for the medium sized organization. Then we have Microsoft, Oracle, BAN, JD Edwards, PeopleSoft, Tally. So several ERPs are available in the market, but SAP is the leading company in the ERP market, right? So when it comes to the overview of SAP, so in 1972, the 5 former IBM employees have started the company SAP, and out of these 5 employees, a couple of them, I guess, Hasso Plattner is still with SAP. He's the main person behind developing this HANA database. And so the SAP stands for, this is in the German language, System Analyze Program Entwicklung. So when it is translated to English, it is a systems analysis and program development. So SAP headquartered in Waldorf, a city in Germany, and it is listed in Frankfurt and New York Stock Exchanges. It has more than 440,000 customers in more than 180 countries. So I hope there are around 192 countries in the world. So almost 90% of the world is using, the big organizations are using the SAP software, and more than 1 lakh employees worldwide. And so with the introduction of its original SAP R2 and R3 software, so SAP established the global standards for enterprise resources software. So before SAP entered into the market, there was small softwares available, but these were in the bits and pieces. Um, those were not able to manage the large volumes. And now the biggest thing in the SAP world is SAP S4HANA, the next level application, which uses the in-memory database and which has the capabilities of IoT advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning. So SAP works with about 22,200 partners and business software solutions for 25 industries. So these partners are like the companies implement SAP, right? The big organizations. So those companies, those clients come in this list, and also there are several partners that work for SAP, like the IT companies, IT partners, which help the companies to implement SAP, right? So those companies, so including all these clients, partners, and everyone, it would be around more than 22,200 partners. The list might have grown. So as we discussed, the biggest organizations, SAP is the largest business software company in the world. So 80% of the Fortune 1000 companies run SAP software. Around 270,000 companies run SAP software in over 180 countries. So then you can imagine how big is SAP. So it has become like in the industry, if a company is implementing SAP, that means it is considered as a big company. So as I mentioned earlier, so the SAP Business One is for the small size companies, and SAP Business by Design is for the medium sized companies, and SAP ERP, SAP ECC, and SAP S4HANA. So these are used by the large size companies. So we need to understand the SAP. So SAP full form is the Systems Analysis and Program Development. Okay, so in today's legal corporate name is SAP SC. Originally it was called SAP AG. Okay? But now the name has been changed to SAP SC. So as per their local requirements, the company name has been changed. So that is required as per the European Union corporate law. Okay? So SC stands for Societas Europea. And how do we pronounce SAP? Usually many people call it as SAP, like that, right? But so SAP is not only a software, it is also a company, right? So, and we need to pronounce it as SAP instead of mentioning it as a word SAP. So we need to pronounce it as SAP. So and we know what SAP does. So it is for the businesses to record the transactions and analyze and prepare the reports. Right. So the SAP journey so actually started in 1972, and then it upgraded its system to R2 in 1979. And then since its 1972, it has been improving its software regularly, time to time basis. Whenever the technology changes, SAP is also improvising, restructuring, and renovating its software. So in 1972, it has started R2. So R2 means it's a two-tier structure. It will have the database layer and presentation and application layer, both will include in one layer. And then in 1992, it started the client server, which is a three-tier architecture. It includes database layer, application layer, and presentation layer. Three layers will be there. And then 2000 started MySAP. So it has still that three-tier architecture continued, but it has started using the internet. So for, I think in 2004, it has changed to ERP. So earlier it used to call it as SAP ECC. Now in 2004, it started calling ERP, like it is also called as a business suite. So because does not only contain the SAP ECC, but it also contains CRM, SRM, SCM. Like there are 5 components which are called business suite. And in 2011, this HANA database is started. So in 2011, HANA database was initially introduced in BW system. Right? And then slowly it has improved its software, because HANA database has so many features. It is in-memory database and parallel processing, faster processing, and column-based. It supports both row-based and columnar storage. So because of its many advantages and the speed of this database, SAP has changed its design and application to make the improvements. And then in 2012, so first SAP HANA was introduced on Business Warehouse, and it continued. Then in 2013, SAP Business Suite powered by HANA, SAP HANA was started. And then 2014, so the first simplification, this in SAP ECC is started on the finance module only. Okay. So that the first version of SAP HANA was called as Simple Finance. Later it was named as Simple Finance 1.0. And then in 2015 March, it has again introduced another version, and that was initially called as Simple Finance 2.0. Later it was named as 1503. So in this S4 HANA 1503 version, it was only finance module. Innovations were introduced only in the finance module, but in the version that was introduced in November 2015, which is called as 1511 version. So it has introduced all the simplifications and innovations in all modules. So Simple Finance, Simple Logistics, Simple HR. So everything was included from that version onwards. So then it started renaming their versions. So it started the version names as year and month. So the month in which the version was introduced. So for example, in 2015, November, it has introduced its first S4 HANA Enterprise Management version. Okay. Then it named as 1511. The version it was introduced in March 2015, it was named as 1503. And then every year, one release for the on-premise solution. So 1610, 1709, 1809, 1909. Until 1909, it has used a naming convention like which includes the year and month. But from 2020, it has changed. So it stopped including the month. So only the year will be there in the version. So from 2020, and then S4 HANA 2020, S4 HANA 2021, and the latest one which was released in October, which is 2022. So this is the naming convention. And this is a brief about SAP Journey. We'll see what are the major advantages and features in S4 HANA. So the main SAP is claiming with the introduction of the HANA database, the database footprint reduction. Okay, because it has removed a lot of redundancies. So we used to have so many redundant tables, because those were necessary in the technology available at that time. So the traditional databases, how they were designed, it is difficult to pull the reporting. Real-time reporting was very much difficult. So to speed up the process, So some index tables and aggregate tables were required. And so with the creation of the aggregate tables and index tables was not only required, so SAP has to write so many lines of code so to make use of those tables, right? So eventually the size would increase, right? So now with the introduction of HANA, so all those redundant tables are not required. So drastically, the database footprint has been reduced. And also it increased the higher throughput of the data because it uses the parallel processing and multiple cores. And if you see in the traditional database, it takes a 593 GB. On HANA, it reduces to 118. And then in Simple Finance, it further reduced to 42.4. And then actual database size is 8.4. You can see where is 593 and where is 8.4 GB. So the database footprint has been drastically reduced with SAP S4HANA. Right. So when it comes to the SAP modules, so FI stands for financials, which is used for the external reporting, and CO stands for controlling, which is used for the internal reporting. So in SAP, we have several modules. When it comes to the function modules, we have SAP HR, SD, MM, FICO, project systems, treasury, PP, PM, QM, and few other modules are also there, which are not listed here. But when it comes to the technical modules, we have ABAP, Basis, BW, and NetWeaver. So industry solutions, if you see, so SAP has its existence in these many around 30 to 35 industries. So each industry has its own terminology and its own structures, right? So then SAP has to design its software also according to its own respective industry solutions. Like in manufacturing, if we see the material, we call it as material, right? So which requires certain fields. But when it goes to the retail, so this material master may not be useful for them. So then it has to create separate tables, right? Like the articles. And in the retail, it also requires the catalog and all those things, right? So it has to change the structures and presentation of the data. So for every industry, the master data and transaction data will be different, and screens will also be different. So whoever wants to implement SAP, they have to use the correct industry solution related to their industry. So as you know these things, so the types of projects and different roles available, as many of you are already experienced. So this is a system landscape which we will discuss from tomorrow. Okay, so we'll also start with the introduction of the and overview of the SAP S4HANA from tomorrow. So this is today is only for the introduction and basic level to understand so everyone's requirements. But from tomorrow onwards, we'll have the full 1.5 hour session. Okay, so any questions for today? Okay, then, all right. Let me see. Yeah, I'll share the PPT. Okay, guys. Yeah, thank you very much. So we'll meet tomorrow again. Okay.
Thank you, Pawan. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
All have a great
Thanks,
day,
everyone.
great night. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section below, and we will reply to them at the earliest.